I have been married for 3 years. 2 years ago, we had a daughter. She immediately became the love of my life. Since giving birth, sex with my wife has been terrible. She is never interested in sex, and when I ask for some action, she angrily lays still on the bed and let me do my thing. And this happens once every 2 months or so. I am in sales and my female colleagues dress attractively. This used to not be an issue until I became sex-starved. I can barely concentrate at work as sex is always on my mind. Every night, I visit Pornhub and X videos. I spend approximately 45 minutes on these sites daily. It has become a ritual I carry out every night before I sleep. But after a while, this was not enough anymore. I wanted more. I needed more. I flirted with colleagues at the office, but no one was willing to have a sexual relationship with me. They all said it was because I was married. But I do not think that is true. This was because I was aware of a number of them having affairs with married clients. Who am I to complain? It was closing deals. I became very desperate. I started driving to the Red District at night, but the girls there looked dirty and tough. I was also aware the police were clamping down on solicitation. So, I drove through the Red District, daring myself to pick someone up. I never went through with this plan though. I was just too scared. Imagine if I got arrested. Imagine my wife finding out. I had to be careful, but my urges were driving me crazy. 4 months ago, while browsing the internet, I came across the review of an escort service website. This was my first time hearing about this platform, and the interface looks very decent. You also do not have to register to get someone's number. I searched for girls close to my location and found quite a lot. I found girls of different shapes offering different services. Their fees were not ridiculous, and the firewall for discretion looked solid. I liked what I saw so far. This is it. I just needed to call someone and make a private arrangement for a wild time. I felt like a kid in a candy store with so many options. These girls were beautiful, but the kinky arts and fetishes they were offering were just unbelievable. I saw most of these on Pornhub, but I never imagined I would have the option to pick exactly what I fancied. Some were disgusting though. What the hell is period play? I cannot stand the sight of blood. Even a drop gets me dizzy and confused. I have hemophobia. There was this beautiful girl I fancied most. She called herself Wealth. I like that. Her booty was porn-like, and from her pictures, she seemed flexible. I picked out her number and called. Her voice was soft and warm. I told her I got her number from the platform and would want some intimate time with her. She said she was booked for the night and would not be free for another week. Wow, she is in demand. I replied that I wanted to meet her for an hour that afternoon, as I had some other things to do that night myself. She agreed and confirmed if I could afford her fees as stated on the platform. Of course I could. Why else would I be calling? I rushed to the store by my office to get protection and 2 cans of Monster energy drinks. I could not believe this was happening in the next few minutes. I drove to the hotel she described and drank the energy drinks in the car. It felt like I was going to have a tummy ache. Cold feet, I presumed. But not today. I was concerned that I might encounter someone familiar to my wife or myself, but my desire for this sexual encounter was greater than my fear. So, I casually walked to the lobby and informed one of the front desks I was going to room 306. A call was put across and I was directed to the room. All this while, I was very nervous, avoiding facial contact with everyone. I finally got to her room and she welcomed me with a warm hug. She looked better in person than in the pictures. I could not believe my luck. She asked for her fee, to which I gave her. She started with small talk, which was of no interest to me. She wants to go to film school and believed she is already a good actor. Who cares? I have paid now. Please get to work. When she noticed I was not interested in her backstory, she proceeded with foreplay. My God, she is magical. This was the best foreplay I have ever experienced. I know because just 2 minutes later, I was done. No, this was not the plan. I had not seen her body in action. There was so much I had imagined. She got up and that was it, waiting for me to take my leave. I told her I wanted more, but she replied that payment is per ejaculation. This didn't feel fair. I was satisfied and not satisfied at the same time. I told her I would pay for another session, to which she gestured her hand, waiting for another fee. But I only came with cash for one session. The cash in my wallet could only pay for a quarter of the session. She said I could transfer the money to her bank account, to which I transferred immediately. This time, I sat back and told her no more foreplay. She excused herself to go to the bedroom. I could not believe what I was experiencing. This was heaven. Then I heard a bang in the bedroom. What was that? Hello? I cried out. Do you need help in there? There was no response. I waited for what seemed to be a minute or so. I then went to the bedroom. My stomach dropped. She was just lying on the floor in her blood. I tugged at her, but there was no response. She must have slipped and banged her head. I don't know CPR. I don't know how to check for a pulse. I wanted to call for help. I then realized what this might seem like. This is manslaughter. What will my family say? What about my wife? My daughter? I can sneak out without anyone noticing. I must try. I quickly got dressed. I stepped into the hallway, pretending I was on a call. I acted distracted by my call and went down to the lobby. I hope this was not one of those hotels that the reception verifies from the guests if the visitor could leave. I kept walking, hoping and praying no one noticed me. Just like that, I was in my car. I quickly drove straight to my office. I was very pale. I could not believe this was happening. I quickly deleted my browser history and deleted my call logs. I was trying to be sure there was nothing that could link us. I was at the office till past 6. My wife called to ask what I would like for dinner. This was strange. She never does this. I told her I was not hungry as I just had a large lunch. I got home and noticed how beautiful my wife and daughter were. How could I jeopardize this? Why am I all of a sudden realizing this? Around 2 a.m., I got a text on my phone. I opened the message and my eyes were so wide they could as well roll out of their sockets. The message addressed me by my full name, saying, I know what you did to my friend. You are finished. Your life is over. I jumped out of bed and stepped out of the house. I got into my car and called the number. It rang, but no one picked. I tried again.
Sorry, the number you have reached is not in service.
Now it was switched off. I didn't want to reply by text so as not to leave any evidence that could be referenced. I switched off my phone and went back into the house. I am not sure why I switched off my phone. I guess I wanted it all to just go away. The bank transfer. It flashed through my mind. That must be how this person knows my name. I was at work the next day. This was around 11 a.m. I got another text from that number, addressing me by my full name again. $20,000, and this will all go away. What? I did not have that kind of money. What if this was the police trying to get me to admit? I called the line. It rang, but was not picked. I messaged the number. Who is this? I think you got me mixed up. I got a reply almost immediately with my car model and partials of my plate number. They must have seen me leaving. This is happening. God. I replied, I swear I do not have such money. Please, I did nothing to her. It was an accident. They replied, well, there should not be much of an issue then. Just explain that to the police. Where could I get $20,000? I had $3,000 plus change in my account. Then I remembered I could access a quick loan from my bank. I quickly checked if I was still eligible. I was. The maximum amount I could access was $6,000. I quickly applied and it was disbursed within 10 minutes. But I still only now have $9,000. I messaged them telling them I could only put together $9,000. That was all I had. They replied, your car is worth about $15,000. What? These people are evil. They want to take everything. But this was not the time to cry. I need to sort this out first. I dashed out of the office to a dealer. The dealer was only willing to pay $8,000. That was his final offer. I took the deal and messaged them, explaining what had happened. They gave me instructions to transfer $10,000 immediately and $7,000 the next day. I did as they said. And then there was silence. They stopped replying. This was terrifying. What if they still take me to the police? What if they are the police? I was a wreck. I could no longer take the torture. I took a taxi to the hotel to find out the story about what had happened in recent days. I went to the kiosk that was opposite the hotel and engaged in small talk. I asked if anything unusual happened in the past week. I was surprised when I was told nothing out of the ordinary happened. I told the kiosk owner I heard a rumor that a guest at the hotel died recently, to which he said nothing of such happened. He called one of the gatemen at the hotel, who was his friend, and asked in my presence. The reply was no, nothing happened. Was I just scammed, or did the cleaners do a great job of hiding my crime? The thought of not knowing is having a toll on my health. I have been living in fear, as any day could be my last being a free man. But what if she survived? What if I am just killing myself over nothing? I do not know how long I can live with myself with this guilt. If you got here, please like the video and subscribe. I have access to an archive of similar scary stories.